Story 1. Ignoring my responsibilities and scrolling Reddit is the true circle of life. Story 2. Standing in my bathroom, getting 10 minutes of rest after work before I rejoin the family to parent until bedtime. Story 3. I just finished a delicious bowl of maple nut ice cream. It was not half bad. Story 4. I'm about to grab some Papa John's and then check out the new Walmart that just opened in my town with my wife and kids. Story 5. I am trying to numb myself because otherwise I will scream. If I start, I am certain I will not stop and could scream until I die. Story 6. Hanging out in a hotel room after a long day at the beach in Hawaii with my beautiful girlfriend. I am feeling very blessed this weekend. Story 7. I am watching Mythbusters clips on YouTube while eating kimchi with a fork on a teacup platter. Story 8. Drinking a beer at a bar in the mall after buying a birthday present. Story 9. I am sitting at a high school football game supporting my partner who is in the band. Story 10. Escaping into Reddit to try to stop crying over my family. Story 11. I am lying in bed next to my boyfriend. I am getting ready to go eat sushi soon. Story 12. I waited for the train that was not coming and considered taking a taxi. I am in a taxi now. It is 2:49 a.m. here, by the way. Story 13. I'm sitting on my couch, sweating after picking weeds with the hottest woman on the planet. Watching my daughter finish her homework for the week. Absolute heaven. Story 14. I am sitting in my bed with 3 of my cats, eating chocolate and waiting for my bubble bath to finish filling. Story 15. Drinking a beer and watching Peacemaker. Waiting for someone to text me. Story 16. Enjoying the beginning of the end of porch sitting weather. It is beautiful outside. Story 17. I am working in my home office. I just moved from Washington to West Virginia, and the moving truck has not arrived, so the house is empty. Do not use elevated moving. They provided poor service. Story 18. I am standing outside a building. I met a group of strangers on the subway, interesting-looking people who said they were here from Los Angeles for New York Fashion Week. I helped them find the right train. In return, they invited me to the party they were going to. They told me the address, so after dropping my things off at home, I came here. The building does not look like a party venue, though. I don't suspect malicious intent, but I am starting to think they gave me the wrong address. It's late. I should just go home, but it's Friday night and I want to go to the party. Story 19. Driving home from work while listening to Neil Young's Old Man on repeat. Story 20. I just took my last bite of an egg roll. I am lying on the couch with Shark Tank on mute, scrolling Reddit. Story 21. I am on my way home after working with kids all day. I am really ready for the weekend. Story 22. Resting after cooking for everyone. I am visiting extended family. My grandmother used to cook for the family. Then my mother took over. She still helps, but she is 90 now, so it is my turn. Each day various relatives drop by and we feed them. They all have good qualities and we enjoy seeing them, but mostly they do not bring food. I am not sure how I ended up in this role because I am not a particularly skilled or creative cook. Story 23. I am eating a hot dog and waiting for the football game at my son's high school to start. He is a sophomore and first chair drummer in the band. Story 24. On a plane, sitting by the window. The sun is going down. It smells like peppermint. The person next to me just started taking pictures. Could be the sky, could be me. Story 25. I am sitting in the Cheesecake Factory, about to eat a Cuban sandwich. Story 26. I finished eating and spent 10 minutes on Reddit, so I don't forget to not be happy. Good day. Story 27. Watching The Biggest Loser documentary with my husband while drinking a soda. Story 28. Having a mixed drink, watching the new Charlie Sheen documentary. Story 29. Lying in my bed, looking at flights to all the places in the world I want to go. Story 30. I am waiting for my milk cow to finish eating her grain so I can put everyone, including myself, to bed. Story 31. My son and I are squished on the couch. Both of us have influenza type A. My daughter is on the other couch with the flu. My husband has managed to avoid it. Story 32. I am sitting in the car, waiting for my son's soccer practice to finish. Story 33. I am trying to work, but I am acting like a random Reddit user while listening to music. Story 34. I just ate a popsicle while watching the national news. I'm thinking about going to bed early. Story 35. Sitting on my back patio, rocking my baby to sleep while my dog lies at my feet. Story 36. I am sitting on my bed, sipping brandy. I am happy that the weekend is finally here. Story 37. I moved to a new place and am alone a lot. I am watching Family Guy and drinking a seltzer. Story 38. Sitting on the side of the road, waiting for someone to trade strawberry starts for basil. Story 39. Arguing on Reddit. I am slowly trying to break the habit of letting people say nonsense to me and automatically taking the high road. Story 40. I am trying to rock my baby to sleep in a hospital room while my wife takes a shower to wash off the vomit. Story 41. Drinking coffee while my 5-year-old reads a story to her teddy. Life is good. Story 42. I am lying on my couch under a blanket, feeling lazy. I want to take a shower, fill up the Mercedes-Benz, drink a large Red Bull, and drive to San Francisco for dinner and activities like scootering around the city and watching people affected by fentanyl. Who is from Sacramento and wants to eat barbecue in San Francisco with me? Nobody? Fine. I will buy a hot link sandwich for someone struggling with addiction. Your loss. Story 43. I am crying because I learned that my grandfather may pass away soon, and I cannot afford plane tickets to attend his funeral. Story 44. I took a quick Reddit scroll after finishing organizing my trunk, the storage chest variety, and before deciding what to do next to deeply organize and purge my stuff. At the same time, I am rewatching Star Trek Voyager for the 10th time. Story 45. Passing out at my computer while working on one screen, viewing Excel spreadsheets on another, watching an anime girl dancing to music on the third, and Reddit on my phone. So not much, really. Story 46. I just got back from disc golf and am about to order Chinese food. But first I will waste time on Reddit. Story 47. I am trying to decide what to eat for dinner, but I got distracted by Reddit. Story 48. I am driving back to Texas from California after receiving the terrible news that my sister passed away. She was murdered. I will return next week for her burial. I am so sad. Story 49. I just watched the beginning of One Piece. No spoilers, please. Story 50. I am helping my husband set up a fundraising dinner, a silent auction, and a raffle to be held tomorrow night. Story 51. I am taking a break from reading The Outsider by Stephen King. This is my 115th book this year. Story 52. It's 3:43 a.m. I'm wide awake, hoping I can get back to sleep. Story 53. I just woke up and I am waiting for my boyfriend to finish practicing his skills lab for nursing school. After that, we will have a video call and play Outlast Trials because he really wants to play with me. Story 54. I'm eating a perfect avocado with lemon juice, salt, and sumac while waiting for my husband to wake from his midday nap so I can put away the clean clothes. Story 55. I am house-sitting, drinking Prosecco, and watching Practical Magic. Story 56. Sitting here in prison, fighting my demons of addiction and boredom, I choose to scroll Reddit. Story 57. Eating my failed attempt at Japanese pancakes with chocolate chip matcha cream and raspberries. Story 58. Just lying down in my bed, reading people's posts here on Reddit. Story 59. I was scrolling on Reddit to relax after seeing too many tragic news stories on TikTok. My brain is exhausted. Story 60. In bed, doom scrolling at 2:53 in the morning. My life definitely has some issues. Story 61. I am sitting in the backyard with my dog, trying to motivate myself to go for a run, but I am scrolling instead. My dog is mad at me. Story 62. I am watching my boyfriend repot his jade plant. It has grown so much since he first got it. It is nighttime and I have to make sure he does not get kidnapped. Story 63. I am sitting in my toddler's room on her rocking chair, savoring 5 minutes of alone time while she eats her bedtime snack with her dad. Story 64. Scrolling through random content on my Reddit feed while trying to muster enough energy to switch to my YouTube feed. Story 65. Laughing to myself about how ridiculous and nonsensical life can be. I suppose it is better than crying or screaming in horror, so there is that. Story 66. I am sitting on the couch, contemplating whether I should wash my hair tonight because I am going to a wedding tomorrow. I have an appointment with a stylist, but it might still be worth washing it. Story 67. At this moment, I am describing what I am doing, which amounts to nothing. Story 68. I am sitting in bed, eating a chocolate macaroon I got earlier from Three Girls Bakery at Pike Place Market. Story 69. I am belching after eating too much vegetable lasagna because it was so delicious. Excuse me. Story 70. Lying in bed. My husband is at work, and I am going to bed early. Story 71. My laptop, iPad, and phone are on in front of me. I was distracted from writing because my boyfriend is listening to an audiobook in the bathroom and I can hear it clearly. It is 2 a.m. and I should be going to sleep. I am exhausted, but I desperately want to keep writing. I have been like this all week. Story 72. I am reading a post titled Random People of Reddit. What are you doing in this very moment, and deciding what is too meta for my response and what is appropriate. I am also considering what this very moment means. The moment I started the post, the moment I read it, or the moment I finish my reply. In any case, I am sitting at my desk typing a reply to a random Reddit user on AskReddit about what I am doing right now. Edit. Now I am editing. Story 73. I was at the vet with my dog. She had been fine all day, and then suddenly she had a seizure. She remained like that while I panicked and threw clothes on. She shook and panted with a wide-eyed, fixed stare while I carried her down the stairs. I've never been so scared in my life. Story 74. Growing a baby, because it sounds better than lying down and doom scrolling. Story 75. I am trying to start my personal computer to play something, but it is not cooperating. Story 76. If everyone's answer is that they are not posting in AskReddit, then they are liars. Story 77. In the intensive care unit after a car accident, eating corn nuts, scrolling Reddit, and listening to the news. Story 78. I am reading Reddit before I pack my things for a short trip tomorrow. Story 79. Sitting on the toilet at work, having my final wee before I go home at 3 a.m. Story 80. Preparing my children's curriculum for the week after next and reviewing their work from last week. Story 81. I am scratching my balls and not sure if I should use the bathroom. Answer a woman I have been talking to on Hinge, grab a beer, roll a joint, or check baseball scores that I am stressed about. Instead of making a decision, I am pacing in circles and scrolling Reddit. Story 82. I am lying in bed, sick as a dog from an infection, and scrolling Reddit. To be honest, I just finished crying because I am tired of how frequently I get sick. Story 83. Scrolling Reddit while lying in bed, thinking about something I cannot remember. Story 84. I ate leftover pizza, drank wine, and had a gummy about an hour ago. I'm trying not to pay attention to divisive bullshit. Story 85. Making a waffle to have with bananas, peanut butter, and maple syrup. Story 86. I am eating strawberries, bell peppers, and a bit of homemade cookie dough as my pre-workout meal. Story 87. I was going to start the laundry, but I procrastinated again at the last second. Story 88. Camping, well glamping. An amazing fire with the baseball game on a large screen projector. More soon. Story 89. Besides doom scrolling through Reddit, I'm sipping a beer and half watching my boyfriend play his mobile casino game. Story 90. I should be practicing my instrument. Story 91. Watching For All Mankind and checking Reddit while my husband gets us a bowl. Story 92. This would make a great little film with everyone replying. Story 93. Lying in bed with my sleeping daughter. I am going to put on my audiobook and try to sleep soon. Story 94. I am at the bar having a pint and waiting for it all to blow over. Story 95. I just woke up and realized it is 4 in the morning. I cannot go back to sleep because I have a train to catch at 5. Story 96. I am watching Korean pop Demon Hunters with my children. I am on Reddit. Story 97. Drinking a beer and watching anime while also watching a video on Reddit of children doing active shooter drills in an elementary school. Rethinking my choice of location. Story 98. Watching TJ Hunt upgrade his friend Nate's Bavarian Motorworks dream build and reading Reddit, of course. Story 99. Watching television with my mama while my 10-month-old sleeps on my chest. Story 100. I'm at a party, overstimulated and hiding in the corner with the dog. Story 101. I just farted. Counting the seconds until my family notices. Story 102. I am procrastinating on finishing the novel I am trying to write. Story 103. Chilling on the couch with a cozy blanket, playing Animal Crossing next to my love, who is playing Tomb Raider. Story 104. I am eating corn my dad prepared and wondering who will win the International Chess Federation Grand Swiss this year. Story 105. I am icing and applying heat to my back and stretching, so I can make it through tomorrow's shift. Story 106. I am sad I received only one comment on the subreddit vent in 16 hours. I really needed support and someone to tell me I am not crazy. It was about how awful my boyfriend's brothers are. Since then, he spoke with them about it. I do not know whether they will listen, but I am happy he told them their actions are hurting me. Story 107. My dogs woke me up about half an hour ago. I took them for a short walk, gave them breakfast, and put them back in bed. Now I am back in bed, trying to unwind and fall asleep. Story 108. I am procrastinating going to bed. I technically finished the first Ace Attorney game about half an hour ago. I need to play the Nintendo DS bonus chapter. Story 109. I am sitting at my desk at work. Yes, it is 2:30 in the morning. I have nothing to do, so I am browsing Reddit. Story 110. Pouring maple syrup into a spoon to eat for dessert. Maple syrup. Story 111. Sick as fuck. My head is killing me. I probably have a fever. I did not check and do not care to right now. I am listening to cringy edit audios to distract myself, but it is not working and I feel like I am going to throw up. Story 112. Everyone reading this post is on Reddit. That is what they are doing. Story 113. I am sitting in the emergency room with my father, waiting for the weather to clear, so they can fly him to a better hospital for surgery. We have been waiting 5 hours. Story 114. I was smoking on my balcony, zoning out while listening to the trees and other sounds and scrolling through Reddit. Story 115. It is 4:42 a.m. I have been awake for an hour, scrolling through social media. Story 116. Scrolling on Reddit at 3 a.m. when I have a laundry list of things to complete by 10 a.m. Story 117. The children are sick. It is 5 in the morning and one of them woke up, so I am holding him in a chair. Story 118. I'm reading Reddit posts. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here for your question. Is this a trick question? Now I want ice cream. Story 119. I'm debating whether I should masturbate, go to the driving range, eat some Oreos, work on this music video, or fold my clothes. Story 120. I am watching a video on YouTube that breaks down all of Mr. Robot from start to finish because I am too lazy to watch the whole show. Story 121. I watched a movie while drinking a Rockstar energy drink. I caught a cold. Story 122. I just got back from my son's soccer practice and am relaxing while scrolling Reddit. Story 123. I am at trivia night doing poorly on American history questions. Story 124. Sitting on the toilet 15 minutes after finishing urinating and just scrolling. Okay, I have to go and live life again. Story 125. Enjoying a run and a Coke while watching a rerun of The Librarian circa 2014. Story 126. I just got home from work. I'm using the bathroom, and I want something to read. Story 127. I am watching the Red Sox versus the Yankees on Apple television with my wife. It is the bottom of the 5th inning, and the Yankees lead 2-0. Story 128. I am sitting on the balcony of our high-rise condominium at sunset, overlooking downtown as the city lights come to life. She is on the sofa reading her book and waiting for our salmon to finish. There it goes. Dinner is ready. I have to go. Story 129. Drinking and scrolling, looking for something to pique my interest. Story 130. I am watching the college football game between Houston and Colorado. I am in Minnesota. Story 131. I am eating frosted mini wheats. They are delicious. I am not wearing pants. Story 132. I am watching YouTube. Currently, it is a video by Tasting History with Max Miller. Story 133. Watching Captain America. Let's kick some Nazi and Hydra butts. Story 134. I sat downstairs in the dark, drinking whiskey, and commented on random Reddit threads. Story 135. I am sitting with my Chiweenie on my lap. He is having problems today and is being very clingy, which is not like him. He has behavioral problems. Story 136. My mom keeps sending me texts about the shooter in Utah. I know he's Mormon and I don't know who gets the reward money. We live in Utah, so she keeps talking about it even though I've already read everything. Story 137. I am contemplating whether I want to smoke my last joint or save it for the weekend. Story 138. Watching comfort shows and eating homemade goodies. It has been a week of rest, with lots of plants and fresh air. Story 139. Leaving my first grandson's high school homecoming football game at halftime to go home and feed the dogs. Story 140. I am sitting on my balcony, having my morning coffee and looking at the city skyline. Story 141. Yet another Gemini artificial intelligence Zamasu story. I am supposed to be working on eternal evolution and eating breakfast, but neither is happening. Story 142. I am drinking a beer outside, reading Reddit, and I am about to need to urinate. Story 143. My daughter has just returned with her boyfriend. I am supposed to drive her 4 hours to university in a few hours, while he is at home sleeping, ready to begin his first year. Story 144. In bed with my laptop so I can nod off, like I was doing on the couch. Story 145. Watching poor quality television, eating food delivered by DoorDash, and submitting emergency tickets to the engineering team. Story 146. I am eating dinner, scrolling, and wondering what to watch until my partner is available to spend some time with me. Story 147. Sitting on my sofa on a Friday night and scrolling Reddit instead of watching the movie my husband put on. Story 148. I am on Reddit while a video I made for a cover band challenge in a cigar box guitar Facebook group is rendering. Story 149. I am recovering from back-to-back surgeries, a groin hernia repair, and a meniscus shaving. It has been a great month. Only up from here. Story 150. Hanging out in the living room with my sister and brother-in-law. I am currently stoned and listening to pop music. Dark Horse is playing on the sound system. We are all in a good mood. Great Friday evening. Story 151. Listening to Dolly Mavies and doom-scrolling Reddit. I'm having a political argument with a random person. I'm trying to be polite so as not to be banned by the moderators. Story 152. I am texting 3 new friends about a trip in January and am about to watch a movie with another friend. I am excited because it is hard for me to keep friends and boyfriends. Story 153. I am reading about Charlie Kirk and wondering when the world will end. Story 154. I am thinking of going to Bunnings to buy more gardening supplies I probably will not need. It is a beautiful spring day, so everyone will have the same idea. Story 155. Eating air-fried butternut squash skin seasoned with oil and salt. It is like potato chips but in strips. Story 156. I am lying here, thinking about which game to play on the Switch 2 and whether to listen to music while I play. Story 157. I just finished taking the dogs for a walk and came inside to scroll Reddit. Story 158. I am watching the weird show Scorpion and eating burnt Cheez-Its. Story 159. I am about to take a couple of rips from the pen and play some video games. Story 160. I am in Mexico on a 2-week vacation. I still cannot stay off Reddit. Story 161. I am trying to understand how this country, the United States, got so fucked up. Story 162. I am watching college football and updating my blog because blogging is popular right now. Story 163. I'm watching Smallville while looking at and responding to posts like this. Story 164. Drinking a beer, browsing Reddit, and blasting indie music through my earbuds. Story 165. I was eating frozen chocolate-covered blueberries while lying on the bed and listening to my brother explain a comic he had read about elves. Story 166. I am sitting with my husband and our dog on the sofa, watching him play video games while I browse Reddit. We have a very cozy little life here. Story 167. Taking a dump while dyeing my hair and scrolling Reddit. Story 168. I am waiting for the rest of the wedding party to arrive at the bar so we can have a drink. Story 169. Lying in bed in the army barracks, I alternate between browsing Reddit and playing iMessage shuffleboard with my husband. Story 170. Watering my plants while listening to Sense and Sensibility. Story 171. Lying in the back seat of my car, eating a lollipop while watching the television show House. Story 172. I am being driven home after buying my forearm crutches so I can walk better. Story 173. I was in the back seat with my mom and 2 daughters on our way home from dinner. It was a good night. Story 174. Letting my kids look at the stars before they brush their teeth and go to bed. Story 175. I am watching Prohibition Volume 2 on the public broadcasting service and answering your question. Story 176. Eating pork rinds and watching The Girlfriend on Amazon. Story 177. I just finished watching Gladiator 2 and came to Reddit to learn more about the fall of the Roman Empire. Story 178. Watching my child eat an overpriced cake pop she purchased with money she earned from recycling. Story 179. Putting aside all the stressful thoughts of life to think about which movie I want to watch in the movie theater. It has been too long. I miss pizza, ice cream, and stargazing. Those were the good old days. Story 180. I am watching The Big Bang Theory and trying to figure out the best time to start cooking dinner. Story 181. Eating 2 double yolk eggs, drinking a cup of coffee, and sitting with 2 sleeping puppies. Story 182. In a soccer game, I do not know if it is the cold, but the team is losing. Story 183. I just left a family gathering. We buried my future sister-in-law's ashes and held a celebration of her life and birthday. She would have been 34 today. Story 184. Doom scrolling and watching the old British version of Whose Line Is It Anyway? Story 185. I am at a bar with my boyfriend and his friends, but I am on my phone on Reddit because I am not the best at being social. Story 186. Flying on JetBlue somewhere over North Carolina with that sweet, free wireless internet. Story 187. Resisting the urge to order takeout after spending hours cooking 2 very mediocre dishes today. Story 188. I just got off work, and I'd rather scroll Reddit than sleep after a 15-hour shift. Story 189. I am trying to get a cat back into my house and waiting for her on the porch. Story 190. Loading Metal Gear Solid 1 after beating the remake of Metal Gear Solid 3 a little while ago. Story 191. I am sitting at a bar while my friend is bartending. One friend I was drinking with left a little while ago, and a couple of other friends will arrive soon. Story 192. Making raspberry chipotle chicken and watching the British show Pie in the Sky. Story 193. Lying in bed, wishing my bladder were empty and dreading leaving my warm, comfortable blankets. Story 194. I am eating Taco John's in my car in a parking lot while listening to old school rock. Story 195. I am drinking because there is no reason not to. I am trying to take my mind off the world around me. Story 196. Sitting on the passenger side, 5 hours into our 8-hour road trip. Thanks a bunch for sticking around till the end of the video. Remember to subscribe, and until next time, stay awesome and goodbye.